So it's been 2.5 years since this happened to me, and finally I've convinced the department that it might be okay for me to hang out at In-Service or at the academy with the recruits. This chief, when I asked him, said absolutely we can do that. I might have got roadblocks from the last one. Very frustrated. But I had other departments that were helping me out. The Sheriff's Department, Todd Baxter, and Chief Jim Benvettero when he was a Gates chief. So I got to run around and do some things, and I snuck in here and talked to the recruit classes. I didn't ask permission. I just came, figured I'd beg for forgiveness if somebody had their nose bent. But the hardest thing for me since this happened has been finding purpose. When what you do for a living is taken from you in a horrific event, that's a hard ass to try to get past. It's not easy. I've spent my whole career trying to do things to help people, and then now I can't get in the car and I can't do what I love. So I'm jealous. I'm jealous of each and every one of you sitting here today. You guys get to go out and you get to do the job that we came on for, and you get to do it every day. And as much as we all want to bitch about it, I bitched about it enough, I'm sure. But very few things that you can do in life where you can have a profound impact on someone else's life, and we're allowed to do that. So finding purpose in that is rough. So I went to the train the trainer for what everybody had to sit through before they started this In-Service, and it was 3 days, and these two guys from San Antonio, and I'll tell you, they impressed me. It's not an easy task to impress me, but it was extremely interesting, and I think it's extremely beneficial. Now, there might be somebody in here who's been to more In-Services than me, but maybe not. And when I went to In-Service, the only thing I cared about is I hope I have a long lunch, and I better damn well get out early. Right? That's all I ever want. What I want to ask you, and I hope you were doing already earlier today, is I hope that at this particular In-Service, that maybe you pay a little more attention to what's being presented than normal. This is a hard topic, right? This is a hard topic to talk about, hard to try to convince people to listen to, because none of us want to look in the mirror. None of us want to admit that maybe I need help with something. We solve problems, right? We don't have them, we solve them. Other people have these things. I'm going to tell you that's bullshit. That's bullshit. We have to learn how to manage these things. We have to learn, I think, to manage them better. I could have done better, and I'll go through that maybe. But I think this training is very important, and I wouldn't be in here talking about it if I didn't think it was very, very important. So when you look at me, when you look at my face, you can see physical trauma. Physical trauma. It's right there. There's no way to avoid it. My left eye doesn't open. If it did, you can see that eyeball is smaller than the one on the right side. The scars on my face. I had plastic surgery. It's right there, right? My physical trauma is up front. I have stab wounds in my neck, my back, my head, and it's right here for you to see. But where is the other trauma, the mental trauma from this event? So obviously that's in my head. you can't see that. So when this happened to me, I have this huge mental trauma that I have to put somewhere. Previously, trauma at work, I put that in a little closet in my head and pushed it away. But when I opened the door to put this in there, there wasn't any room left. There wasn't any room left. So I had to figure out, what am I gonna do? How am I gonna deal with this? You know, unfortunately, it took 23 years of answering calls for service and a knife in my head until I decided maybe I'm gonna talk to somebody about what happens at work. Maybe I'm gonna do that. All of you have a long list of things that you've seen or done. I've been on scene twice in my career for multiple police officers who were shot. I was first on scene for an officer who was on his way to work one morning on a motorcycle, who was dead on scene when I got there. Bodies burning on railroad tracks, people cut in half. I've been in more homicides than anybody, unless you work up in major crimes. I've seen the inhumanity, the things that humans do to humans. And then obviously what happened to me. And like I said, I didn't consider talking to anybody or doing anything about my work shit until this happened to me. That might have been a mistake on my part. Right now I see two people. I see a therapist, and I see this might be scary, I see the department psychiatrist. I see each of them every month, and I go in and talk about things that are going on, how I'm handling stuff. It keeps me maybe a little grounded. Now, I've never done that before. I did use employee assistance program throughout the course of my career, but that was for family stuff, right? I've been married 26 years. I have 3 kids. During that time, you might have a little drama now and then. And we used the officer assistance program, and things went well. And my wife still lets me sleep in the house. It's very good. So it worked there. But I never went and talked about work. That was, I think that might have been a mistake on my part. I'm not ashamed that I go now. I might be a little bit that I didn't do it before. You can't just clog this stuff up in your head. You can't just let stuff go. It's something that needs to be addressed, and I think we're pretty bad at it because we're tough. We're cops, we're law enforcement. We take care of stuff. We don't have room for that. You know, maybe during those 23 years, I could have dealt with things better. You know, I think I had a good separation between work and life. Right? I coached both my sons' baseball teams. I went to every soccer game my daughter played. I hate soccer. I went. We were camping, family stuff. I mean, I did all that. You know, so I had a good separation, I think. But maybe it could have been better. Maybe I could have been a better husband, a better father, if I had been taking care of myself. Because I can take care of everybody else, right? That's what we do. Take care of everybody else. Maybe I should have spent some time, spent more time taking care of myself. And that probably would have worked out a little better for me. So when I would meet people who are not in law enforcement, they tell me, "Oh my God, you're a cop. That's crazy. That's got to be stressful." That's got, I don't know how you do it, the bad people, the crimes, the this, the that, and I'd kind of chuckle and say, no, work is not stress, right? I know what to do when I'm at work. I'm trained. Someone shoots at me, I can shoot back. Somebody wants to fight with me, I can fight. And I'm part of the biggest gang in the city. I got a lot of people coming to help. And at the end of the day, everyone has to kind of do what I say, one way or the other, one way or the other. And I'd say, so it's not stress. I got it down, right? I know what to do, no problems at all. And I'd say, real stress is when I go home. I go home and nobody wants to listen to a damn thing I say. And they frown upon me arresting my wife or my kids, so I can't do that. So that's stress. That's the real stress. Work's nothing. I'm tough, right? I can handle that. Well, when you've been in a situation, someone tries to murder you, you might reflect about some things. And I think I started to realize that how much of the stress that I was dealing with at work on a daily basis, every day, how much of that did I take home and cause the stress at my house that I may have been blaming on the people in my house? How much of that was actually me? Because I wasn't taking care of myself. And shame on me for bringing that home. Shame on me. I should have been addressing that in a different manner. So I think reaching out, talking to people, talking to therapists, I think that's a good thing, And all of us, all us cops with that, nobody can understand. They're not cops. They're not cops. Well, you're not a therapist, right? So maybe you don't understand the therapist. But you have to have a release. I mean, if you don't have a release, maybe you come home from work, you sit in front of your garage and smoke cigarettes and maybe drink more beer than you should. Maybe you get away with it because I worked midnights 14 years and nobody was home, right? I could have done a better thing instead of doing that, but that was cool, that worked. I'd go to sleep, and get up and take care of everything I had to do and then go back to work. That's what I would do. Not every day, not all the time, but that was something I did, and maybe there's some other things that we should consider. So I'm assuming, or if you haven't already, you guys they're presenting stuff about PTSD. Right? I've been very lucky in regards to that. I haven't suffered the more serious things that you hear about, read about, see on documentaries, people who have had traumatic things happen to them, or the cumulative stuff of what we do. I have not had one dream about what happened to me. I haven't had one nightmare. Now, to be clear, I have a video in my head. Some of it is from the beginning of this until the end of the incident. Some of it I saw, some of it I didn't, but I still have this video that goes from beginning to end, to where I'm getting put under at the hospital. So it's I haven't woke up with night terrors, right? I haven't woke up screaming. I'm not sitting in the corner of my house with a whiskey bottle and a straw. I'm just not doing that. I haven't had these things so far, right? So far, I haven't had these things. And not once, I can truthfully tell you this, not once have I thought about killing myself. just haven't had that thought, but I'm gonna tell you a thought that I had, that I'm embarrassed even to admit, but it's a thought. There's things that run through your head when something like this happens. So, what I've thought is that maybe it would have been better if I didn't live that day. That's terrible. That's terrible that I think that, or I thought that before. How disrespectful is that for the people who saved my life that day? How disrespectful is that for my family? That's terrible. You know, I struggle with, I feel like I'm a burden, right? Can't go nowhere unless someone takes me. I can go for a walk, but then frown upon that. Wandering around the neighborhood with my cane, right? I can do it, actually, I was trained, but no one wants to let me do it, and that's okay. The things that go on in your house on a daily basis, right? Things that I would handle without mentioning. I didn't bring home a list and say, look, Sonia, I did all this shit today. I didn't do that, I just did it. You see it, you do it, right? You run to the store and do it. A lot of that stuff I can't do. I'm very good at doing laundry now. I'm very good at that. I just don't understand how two people that live in my house can change their clothes so much, right? But, so I can do little things around the house and that's good, but it's heavy burden on me when I hear stuff that's happening, stuff that needs to get done around the house. My wife getting home from work, trying to get dinner, trying to handle just business of your house, and I can feel the weight on her shoulders, and I feel terrible. The other day she's looking for papers for tax, right? We gotta get our taxes done, and she's running around the house, this room, that room, where'd I put this, where'd I put that? I can't help. I can find her phone when she can't find it. I can find her glasses, but I can't find a piece of paper. I can't do that. Sometimes in the evening I'll hear her, damn, I gotta get this for the kids tomorrow. She teaches kindergarten, and they do a lot of projects, a lot of different things. And you know, she used to have me go and pick stuff up. A lot of times it would be 10 o'clock at night. Denny, I need this from Walmart, the kids, and we're doing this thing, and we're doing that. And I'd be like, are you kidding me? Before, right? I'd say, you drove by Walmart on the way home, right? You've been home for 4, 5, 6 hours. Why didn't you go do it? So we'd have a little 10-minute fight, and then I'd get my little ass in the car, go to Walmart, get the stuff, and come home, right? I'm trained well. I've been married 26 years, right? But I miss those 10-minute fights, right? I miss that, because I can't get in the car. So I have to figure out how to deal with these thoughts about being a burden, about maybe it'd be better if I didn't live. I gotta deal with this stuff, otherwise maybe it blows up. I don't want that. I want to be productive. I want to do stuff, and I want to show everybody that I'm okay. I'm okay. So talking to people has been helpful to me, very helpful to me. So something I realized not long after this happened is that there was a hell of a lot more people who cared about me than I even knew of. Right? Shame on me for not knowing it. I should have known that. They were always there, always been there, and I just probably didn't pay attention. People apparently had a high opinion of me, and then they were all there. Everyone has done a lot of things, amazing things to help me. I felt a little guilty. These people who would come up or pop up, and damn, I should have known these people cared as much as they did. But I was too busy, right? I'm at work, doing stuff, get home, handle home. I wasn't paying attention to a lot of the people around. And thank God for everybody. The love and support that I've received after this happened, I can't even begin to put it to words. I can't begin to put it to words. And a lot of that was they were helping me, right? We need, I think, to get better at helping each other. And I know everybody has that potential because I just lived it, right? We go, you guys, I would guess, most of you or all of you at some point or another had some drug addict in the back of your car, heroin addict, cocaine, crack, whatever. You've had them in your car, and maybe sometimes you take the time to maybe give them some advice, right? I used to tell them if they're in my car and they were talking and being decent, I'd say, you know, maybe you should do this, maybe you should do that. I'd ask if they had kids. And if they said yes, I said, well, why don't you carry a picture in your pocket? The next time you want to put a needle in your arm, take a look at it, right? Take a look at it. Because why else do we have this job, right? We're not to help people. So twice in the last 5 years, once before this happened to me and once after, I've had people come up to me and say, Officer Wright, you saved my life. And first I'm looking at them going, who are you? I don't know who you are. 15, 20 years ago, you said this and you did that. And now I have a wife, I have a family, I have kids, I have a job, and you did that for me. The same with the other woman who came up and told me a similar thing. And I looked at them both when I'm talking to them, and I said, you know, I'm glad that I gave you some advice. I'm glad I pointed you in a direction, but please don't be confused. I didn't save your life. You saved your life. I pointed you in a direction and you chose to take it. They did the heavy lifting. They got through all of that. And I just happened to go, hey, try this. And I'm glad that I was nice that day. I'm glad I said good things, and I'm glad that happened. So if we can do this kind of stuff for strangers, for people that probably I'm just pretending to care about while they sit in my car, right? I'm just trying to be nice. If I can do that for total strangers and people that I probably don't care about much at all, then damn it, I should be doing it for the people I really care about, people I work with. I should look out for them. I should try to help them. I'd imagine that most of you, you'd say, you know, I'll take a bullet for my partner. I'll take a bullet for that cop, the one sitting next to you, your best friend from maybe a decade. I'll take a bullet. I'll take a bullet for anybody wearing a uniform. I'll do that. And that's awesome, right? We would do that for each other. But if you saw me at work and I was acting out of sorts, maybe I'd lose my mind on a job and like, what's wrong with Denny? Why is he acting like that? Maybe I'm coming in late. Maybe I'm just being an overall ass. Maybe you've heard some rumors, you know, that he's involved in this or that, or this drama's happening. I said, so you'll take a bullet for me, but will you call me? Will you ask me if I'm okay? You know, and then sure there'd be some, right? But I think we have to get better at that. We have to get better at helping each other. If we could do this shit for strangers, most of the time you're never going to hear about somebody who listened and now their life's good, but I guarantee you it happened to you. You just don't know it yet. And you might not ever. Right? But if we can do that for strangers, I think we need to start thinking about maybe we need to look out for each other more than we've done in the past. So I have a long list of people who have done things for me. I could go on forever about it, but I'm going to talk about one in particular. One person who has done something for me that I can't repay, just like I can't repay the guys who saved my life, the guys and women who saved my life that day. I can't really ever repay them, and I can't repay this person for what I'm about to tell you. So, 25 years ago, I'm in the academy. And, you know, when you're a group of people who you go through the academy with, you end up with a pretty solid base relationship with them. You see them throughout the course of your career. You know, and this person that I'm, Joanne Woodworth, was in my class. You know, I'd see her, hi, bye. You know, she worked on the west side her whole career until she went to Mountain. I worked in Clinton the whole time. 14 years on midnights, 9 years on days, and then the last 2 from the couch. But I worked in Clinton, and that was it. So I'd see her now and then. You know, I'd give her a hug, say hi, how you doing, this, that. You know, and that'd be about it, right? So I've known her for 25 years, but I haven't spent a lot of time together. And so, after this happened, her and her husband would come by, we'd go breakfast or lunch or something, and she'd call me now and then. And then one day she called, and she said, Denny, I want to take you to the Aqua Center. Now, I thought she said Aqua Center, and I'm like, why does Joanne want to take me to a pool? Who wants to see me in a bathing suit? What the hell is that? But I realized, God, she's mounted, Equa, horse. Okay, I got it now. That's cool. And she goes, I'm gonna take you out to the Equa Center. The horses are out there, you know. And I'm like, okay, that sounds fun, right? I'll go and I figured it'd plop me on a horse. I'll go for a ride, you know, and then they'll get me off the horse, and then I'll come home. But that'll be cool. That'll be something to do. That'll be something to do. Well, that wasn't it. We're driving there, and she goes, they might want you to do some groundwork. Now, groundwork. Joanne's taking me out here, and she's gonna have me shovel shit in the barn. What is that? Well, that wasn't it either, of course. And we get there, and there's this, what was described to me, this big tent, like a circus tent thing, and inside is a 40-foot round metal fence around in a circle, and there's a wild Mustang inside the pen. And they said, okay, we're gonna have you step in here, and you're gonna go up there and touch the horse. And I said, I'm gonna do what? Wild? You said that was a Mustang. That's a wild horse, right? Oh, it's okay. Don't worry about it. Just come in here. And so I do it. You'd be surprised when you can't see what's in front of you, what you would be willing to try, right? So no fear on my face. I don't know what's going on, right? So I get in there and I start working with this horse, this huge animal. One of the things you have to do with these horses is they have to get used to human touch. They have to have good interactions with humans, and then eventually it gets to the point where you can use them for riding or working on the farm or doing whatever. So they're teaching me this stuff. Being a horse masseuse is actually a thing. Everybody can get a good laugh. Denny's massaging horses. This guy was actually teaching me stuff. He lives in Florida, and he works on all the racehorses and shit like that. So he's teaching me how some of this stuff works, working the joints, their necks, stretching them out, different things like that. And they also were teaching me how to move the horse around in the round pen, either by signals with my hand or noises I make. So here I am in the middle of this ring. I got a horse running around in circles, and I'm going, God, I hope you don't run me over, right? But I'll tell you, the connection that I've made working with these animals is indescribable. Indescribable. It is the single best thing I've done since this happened. When I go there and I'm working with the horse, everything else goes away. Everything goes away. All the stress, all the worries, all the crap that I carry, it's gone. It's just me and the horse, and the connection that is somehow being made. I just don't know. But the single best thing I've done, and thank God. I would have never found this. I would have never said, hey, take me out to see the horses somewhere. Let me work on them. It would have never crossed my mind. I had 2 experiences with horses in my life. One was kids are little, we're up at Lake Placid, and we take the kids on a little pony ride or horse ride. And then the only other interaction I had was the summer after this happened to me. We're at Old Forge, some friends' cottages we were staying in. And my son calls up this place and says, hey, I want to bring my dad out here. But you know, he's blind, can he come? The guy said, oh yeah. And then he found out I'm a veteran, so he's like, oh yeah, and he ain't paying, you bring him out here right now, and we're gonna go on a trail, and So we go there, I get on the horse, and they had somebody walking my horse. Usually you just do it yourself, or they'd attach the horse to the horse in front, but they were short some that day, so this guy is walking me, one of the people who work for the old guy who owns this horse farm. So we're walking up the hill, down the hill, and the woods, the branches hit me in the face because, you know, I don't see them coming. Right? so this guy looks up at me and he goes, sir, what happened to you? And I said, well, I'm a police officer. I got assaulted, totally blind. I can't see. I have no light perception. I can't see anything. And he's quiet for a while. He's walking. And then he goes, sir, I just want to tell you, I'm on parole. I said, what? You're what? He goes, I'm on parole. I said, are you fucking kidding me? I'm on a horse. I can't see a damn thing. I'm in the mountains. And my family's way up there in front of me, and I got a guy on parole walking my horse. He said, only Denny, only me. And I'm like, what the hell? And we walk a little farther. And I had, of course, told him, you know, it doesn't matter, you're on parole, you know, it's not so much the bad thing you do, it's what you do after, that's cool, that's fine. Then he looks up at me again a little while and goes, you know, so my girlfriend's daughter accused me of something, but I didn't do it. I'm like, oh shit, I'm on a horse in the Adirondack with a sex offender on parole. I said, get away from my knee, get away from my knee. So that was my only interaction with horses, is those two things. But this place, they work with veterans with PTSD. They work with cancer patients. They work with autistic kids. They work with disabled kids. And this place is just amazing. This place is amazing. But if Joanne didn't think outside the box, if Joanne didn't see me and think, you know, hey, Denny needs some help. If she doesn't take me there, I don't know. And it's the best thing that's happened to me since this happened. So she saw me, saw what was going on, and said, I'm going to see if this will help them. So what she did was she pointed. Right? She pointed. And I went. Thank God she pointed. Thank God she thought that would be something good. Because I'll tell you, without it, I've been doing it 8 months, maybe 9, 10, but I'm telling you, 2 days a week. I told my therapist, the psychiatrist, I said, you guys better step up your game, because there's this horse I'd rather spend time with. And thank God that she did. Thank God that she did. But the point is, she was looking out for me. And obviously, she cared for me more than I had ever thought. And shame on me for not seeing that 25 years. Shame on me. But when it came down to it, she was there and she did something for me. And I'm forever indebted to her for that. So I think we as a group can get better at not only helping ourselves, but helping each other. And we should. And I think we need to. just a better cop, not just that would make you a better person, better husband or wife, better father or mother, if we take care of ourselves. And I think it's something that we should focus on. So I'm hoping today, while you're listening to the rest of the stuff they have to present, what they did this morning, I hope you spend a little more time thinking about what's being presented, right? Now, you can go ahead and totally disregard all of it, right? This is bullshit. I'm not gonna be involved in something the department's doing. They're gonna be watching me, they're gonna be doing this, they're gonna be doing that. Okay, fine, I'm not gonna argue, I'm not gonna try to convince you that's not true. I don't believe it is, but that's fine. But if you don't wanna be involved in what the department is finally trying to do something. They never did. At least not 25 years I've been here. They never did. So they're trying to do something. Maybe we should see how it plays out. Maybe we should consider the things. And if you don't want to be involved in any of it, well, that's fine. Right? But I'd say to you, you all have your own insurance. Right? You don't need to go on some website and find somebody. Although the ones that are there, I'm sure, are the ones that are probably better equipped to deal with dumbasses like ourselves. But you can do this on your own, right? You can do it on your own, and nobody knows. Go to your primary or something, ask for a referral, and then no one's gonna know anything, right? But maybe there's something on that website that's helpful. I don't know. But give it a chance, because they're finally doing something. Now, you go to the best therapist in the world, right? You can go ahead and sit down with whoever that might be. But I'm gonna tell you that therapist doesn't have a magic wand. That psychiatrist, that psychologist, they don't have a magic wand, right? They got a lot of education, doing it forever, whatever, right? But they don't have a quick fix. If you're not willing to engage the person who's sitting across the desk, if you're not willing to open up and to talk, then that's on you, not on them. Part of it is your interaction. You have to be able to admit things that you normally might not. And that just makes you human. It makes you human. It doesn't mean there's something wrong. It makes you human. And hopefully you'll at least consider this stuff, and maybe it'll end up being useful. Maybe this training, maybe it saves somebody's life someday. We gotta try, right? We gotta try something. So, again, I'm just asking that you consider this stuff more than with most other training. So, the trial starts April 26th, jury selection. Then eventually I'll have to get on the stand, and that's fine. I can go do that. I have no problem talking about the exact details of every single thing that happened to me. And I'll go do that if I have to. I really wish the asshole would have took the plea. I don't know what he thinks how it's gonna work out better, but I'm gonna tell you right now, and it might upset some people, I don't care what happens to him. I just don't care. There's nothing that happens to him that's gonna change. It's gonna change my circumstance. I'm gonna walk in the courtroom blind, and I'm gonna walk out the courtroom blind. He might get punished for what he did to me. He'll never get punished for what he did to my family. He'll never get punished for what he did to my friends. But I just can't, live with a bunch of hate, all these thoughts about what I need to do to him, all this bullshit. I don't have time for it. It's not helpful for me. So I just don't care. Whatever happens in that courtroom, whatever they decide, prison, jail, prison, hospital, whatever. I'm not gonna flip out one way or the other, right? The man is responsible for his actions, in my opinion. I don't care what he's been diagnosed with. or if he has been, I don't even know any of that for a fact, right? But I know where he stabbed me. The intent is clear. He wanted to kill me. He didn't stab me in my vest, front and back. He stabbed me in places. My eye, my face, my neck, where he could have immediately killed me on purpose. So, but that's for that criminal justice thing to work out. It's not my thing, and I truly don't care. I just want it to be finished. I want it to be done. So hopefully that'll happen here soon. Hopefully we'll be done with it, and then I can continue to move on, right? I want to show respect to everybody who saved my life, who did things for me. I want to show everybody that I'm okay, and that I can do something useful. So another thing that I've been able to do since this happened to me is I've been able to tell people how I feel about that. Where before I probably wouldn't say much at all. So I can stand here in front of you and tell you all that I love you. Right? I probably wouldn't have said that too often. I certainly wouldn't have said I love you to the women. My wife might hear that and I'd be in big trouble. But see, I'm allowed to do that now, actually, and I don't get in trouble. Right? I think it's important that we tell each other how we feel. Because again, we're too tough, we're too tight. But you should. There's people around you that care deeply for you. You should acknowledge it. You should be grateful that you have it. So, one more thing I thought I was going to say and I lost it. And that's not solely due to the brain injury I sustained. I am a little bit old, as you can see, so I have these little moments sometimes, but I think I went through most of the stuff I wanted. If somebody has a question about anything, I'd like you to ask, right? And I think I may have proven to you that I'll tell you just about anything about me, right? So, if you have a question, I'd like to hear it. I'd like to hear it, and I'll answer. So this has typically been the response I get, right? And then I wonder, did I go into the recruit classroom where they're so scared to even say anything, or did I go to the right classroom and talk to the cops? But I get it. I understand. But it's all right.
Hey Denny, I just want to say one thing. It's Mark Monrad. You know, and I've told you this before, and you were one of the first officers I ever met when I did my recruit ride-along with you, Clinton Midnights on the 4th of July. And we were busy the entire night, and I still remember most of every call we went to, and now we're going on almost 20 years ago. And you taught me more about being a cop in that one night than all of the academy and all of FTO combined in that one night. And you've had my undying admiration since that night, because I've always tried to model myself after you. And then when I was on FTO and I was working with Doc, and you and Doc and I took a ton of jobs together, and I always try to model myself after you, and you keep continuing to prove, you know, that what an exemplary human being you are, even by coming here and talking about this. So I just wanted to give you kudos. So it's not a question, but it's a comment. And I've already told you that, but I just want to make sure you understand how much it meant to me.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much for that. You're giving me way too much credit. And a lot of people say things similar. Oh, I couldn't do what you're doing, Denny. You're a Superman. You're this. You're that. And I'll tell you that no, I'm not. But what I will tell you, whatever you think I'm doing or how I'm acting or all of this, I couldn't do it. Denny's, whatever. I'm going to tell you that you have this inside of you. If something, God forbid, something terrible happened to you, you could handle it the same way that I'm handling this. It's inside of you. And I pray to God you never have to find it. I pray to God, but I don't believe that there's some special power that I have. You all have it inside you. And is pray that you never have to go look for it. Pray that you never have to go look for it. So, I still believe that this job is the best job in the world, period. Regardless of the noise, regardless of what happened to me, I would go back to work tomorrow and walk into the same house, try to get a better result. It's the best job in the world. I couldn't believe they paid me to do it half the time. I would have done this after I worked some 8 hours. Now that might make you think I'm crazy, but that's a fact, that's the truth. That's how I felt about it. Drive down Hudson Avenue and smile and go, damn, they pay me for this shit. I loved it. I still love it. I miss it. But more importantly, I miss all of you. I miss the camaraderie. I still have a lot of it. Don't get me wrong. Right? I talk to a lot of people. I stop by the office. I go here, I go there. But I do miss the day-to-day. I do miss it. But I'm going to keep working. I'm going to keep finding where I'm supposed to go. There's a reason I'm alive. Right? Because I probably shouldn't be standing here. So I'll keep looking for it. I'll find it. It takes me a little longer to find it now than it used to, but I'll find it. And hopefully I'll do something good. That's all I ever wanted to do. Wanted to do good. So thank you for listening. I hope you do take this stuff into more consideration than you used to. And I hate to do hit and run stuff here, but I am flying out of town today. I'm gonna end up in South Carolina, my sister-in-law's lake house. Get away for about a week before I gotta start dealing with the last meeting with Sandra Dorley on the 22nd. The last trial prep, and then trial, always jury selection starts on the 26th. So it's causing me a little bit of anxiety. I haven't slept that well the last few days, but my mind's racing about all this stuff coming up, but I'll get through it. And I know there'll be a million people there behind me. And then maybe I can close something behind me. I don't necessarily believe in this closure thing, right? It doesn't matter what happens. Everything's gonna be pretty the same for me. But I'll be glad it's ended, and I'll be glad he's put somewhere where he can't hurt somebody else. Because if he would do this shit to a uniformed officer, I can't imagine what he would do to just anybody else. So, don't ever feel sorry for me. Don't ever feel sorry for me. I really don't feel sorry for myself. I don't sit around my house going, why me? I can't say why me, because the only other question after that would be, why not me? Bad thing happened. Split second. I'm on the other side of it, and I have to keep moving forward. So I miss you guys. I love you guys. Have a good rest of the day.